There are white people in here right now that are like, they're having meetings.
Our package is overall just sort of like why Black people have been able to lean on humor and comedy to survive this insanity and the oppression and the racism and the systemic racism and all the stuff that happens. Why do you think that has been our culture, like to sort of find ways to find funny?
Two things people know feel good: laughing and sex. Those are two like surefire things that folks are like, those things feel, when done right. And laughing is just so much easier and less messy.
Well, we know why. That we've been going through a lot for a very long time. And for some reason, we can laugh at ourselves. Mm-hmm. And with all the pressures of the world and being African American, you want to laugh. You want to release. You want to leave all those kids at the house. You want to come out, have a good time.
This is not the Hollywood look. This is not. There's two looks for Black women in Hollywood. You either look like Halle Berry or Precious. And there's no sliding scale.
Well, I think Black people, we are very resilient people. As you know, we've gone through a lot of trauma, we've gone through a lot of cruelty, a lot of hardships, and it didn't break us. And music and the humor has been our way of coping and passing on messages and still creating happiness.
We've had a very dark history, and I mean, slavery wasn't fun. It's not like you could be so sad the whole time. You gotta laugh. And it's like, how do you laugh when like your husband got sold 2 days ago? You know what I mean? You gotta figure out the humor and shit. Black people tend to be like very funny during very dark times. I think it's like in our DNA.
Comedy is a defense mechanism. It's a survival technique. The funniest people come from the most oppressed cultures in any one society. Those are the people who have to laugh to get through oppression.
We sacrifice so much. We sacrifice for ourselves. We sacrifice for our families. We also sacrifice for our culture. Comedians are being honest on stage, but that really happened to them.
Yeah.
But they can relate to you and they make it funny to deal with it. At the same time, we're therapists on stage, but we're also the patient laying on the couch.
It's definitely that a force field that we keep around us in the Black community with our comedy that suppresses a lot of that anger Kim spoke of earlier, or sacrifices JB spoke of as well.
They blame stealing on us like we invented it. Now, we may have perfected it. I mean, yeah, we may snatch a purse, but we didn't steal a whole country and call it the United States.
We as Black men are taught to don't show emotion, to be strong. Men don't cry. You little punk, you little sissy if you cry. Man up. And we hold all that emotion in, which is not healthy. When you see Black comedy shows and they're rocking in their chairs and do all that, that's because, especially when the guys do it, because we've been taught that we're not supposed to show emotion. At a comedy club, when we hear something that's funny, and all that pent down emotion and anger that we've been holding in and we've been told not to express, we express it in other areas.
The same way we carry the trauma in our DNA, I think we really do carry these other things, like just an uncanny ability to find humor in the smallest things, because when they take everything from you, to be able to even find, we found chitlins. So it's...
Keep that. They can take that back.
But we have a knack. We have a knack for making the most of very little.
6 months in Redondo, beach right by the condo.
Do you want to talk about a time where comedy or humor has helped you through a tough time?
The pandemic is the first thing that comes to mind. We were in the middle of a pandemic, and we were also, dealing with institutional racism while I was developing this show. In a way that I'm so thankful for, I was able to funnel a lot of the frustration, a lot of what I desired out of my friendships, a lot of the things that were helping me get by, and a lot of things that I wanted to see into this show.
Cheers, friends.
Clang. Guys from St. Louis, I'm from East St. Louis, right? So we're both from the same roughneck part of the world. Either you gotta be like Michael Spinks level tough, or you gotta have some jokes.
Or run like Jackie Joyner.
Or run like Jackie Joyner, exactly.
I like that.
Laughter got me out of speeding tickets. I was on my way to a spot at the comedy store one night, and I was speeding, and the police pulled me over. And he was like, you're going so and so. So I said, I'm sorry, I'm a comedian at a spot at the comedy store. I just don't want to miss my spot. He said, well, let me check and see if you got any prior records. And I said, I got all the richest records. I got that crazy live on Sunset Strip. That crazy. And he laughed. And then he said, man, just slow down and have a good show. And he let me go.
Wow.
Trying to be a strong Black woman is really tough. A lot of my humor as a writer and as a creator does come from those dark moments. I love dark comedy. I do feel like the strong Black woman narrative, we need to kind of break that down because we need moments to create and mess up and to fail and not to like stress ourselves out about failing. Failing is okay. You know, failing is not just for white men. You know what I mean? We can fail too. You know, if you didn't know that today, let this be the sermon now. Fail and mess up and try again.
Let's go, Sam. We don't have all day.
Okay, you literally have eternity.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for reminding me of my endless purgatory.
Which trailblazers in comedy or in television paved the way for you or do you look up to?
Moms Mabley for me. As a strong female, not afraid to be ugly. You know, I like to call myself Moms Mabley meets Goldie Hawn. You know, two
okay, I hear that.
That aren't afraid to be ugly and be funny. Because comedy is not pretty. You know, comedy can be ugly. And so many times women are told we're not allowed to do comedy because we're pretty.
Mine would be Richard Pryor.
Of course.
Richard Pryor, no limits to what he could do. He could do stand-up. He could do sketch comedy. You could do movies. So that's who I drew from. I'm going to model my stuff with his because he's so expansive.
I think Wanda Sykes, you know, even though we're not contemporaries, but she's somebody that I remember opening for her and seeing her career rise and being inspired by it.
Coming to America as a Black woman, I was looking for all the Black women comedians, and obviously Wanda Sykes has been out there doing it. I definitely look to her and go, okay, I see what I can achieve out here. Cat Williams, for me, is the funniest man on the planet. Cat Williams has got the perfect balance between intelligence, swag, and physical comedy.
My first job was on Key and Peele. Like, they're
I love that.
geniuses.
You say your name right now.
Denise.
Say it right.
Denise.
Correctly.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
That's better. Thank you.
There's Keegan's improvisational skill and his talent as a performer and an actor. And then there's Jordan, and his writing sensibility behind the scenes is so sharp that I learned so much from both of them.
I'm the Green Falcon, and
Oh, stop being so Black Falcon about it.
What the do you mean by that?
Trinity is incredible. Her regular looking face makes her nearly invisible in the field.
Sometimes if you have a dream that's like weird, if other people can't visualize it, they're very quick to dismiss you. But if you can point to one person and say that person's doing it, it makes such a big difference. So having Amber Ruffin and Robin Thede, Amber was the first Black woman to write for a network late night show. Robin was the first head writer. And so when I was hired on Full Frontal, I was hired as a writer and Sam made me a performer. Again, it wasn't like, what? It was like, oh, there's two other Black women doing this and they're the best at it. And like, honestly, if you don't have a Black woman writer performer on your show, you're dumb because look at how great they are. And so they like really, and they're like my friends, but I can say my friends paved the way for me in this beautiful way.
You know, it's so interesting because I literally just put this on Twitter that I'm so grateful to live in a time where women like Michaela Cole and Issa Rae and Quinta Brunson and Robin Thede and Michelle Buteau and Janet Mock and like all these incredible multi-hyphenates that really can do it all. I'm just so proud of what these black women, you know what I mean, are doing.
I will always lead with Chris Rock, because I feel like Chris has this uncanny ability to edutain. Even when he dips into silly, like he just always lands at an intellectual thought.
In order for you to get a gun in the United States of America, you should have to have a mortgage. Right, that's a background check for your
In their laughter, though, they're being able to understand a concept that they may not have even bothered to care about, and he made them care about it. That is my goal. I want to work from a place of social practice, which is that it serves my creative need, but it also serves the people.